So we have like I told you, there is a three-dimensional approach to monitoring in children with dengue. One is clinical monitoring, which I have already touched base upon. Second is monitoring the trend of the hemoglobin or the hematocrit and the platelet count in the immature platelet fraction, and monitoring the degree of metabolic acidosis, which we look at either on the blood gas bicarbonate or on the lactate if available. So a combination of all these three parameters will be a good gauge to starting treatment and to gauge the response to fluid therapy. So when I talk about hemodynamic monitoring, clinical monitoring, we look at hemodynamic monitoring, we look at monitoring for leak, as well as monitoring lab parameters that I told you. And so in hemodynamic monitoring, we look at the heart rate, the capillary fill time, the urine output, which can be the single most important tool to gauge fluid need. Like I said, if the urine output is close to 1 ml per kg per hour or more than 1 ml per kg per hour, it is time to kind of give either a normal maintenance or cut down the fluids from whichever has been going. If you've been running 5 ml per kg per hour, the next hour you may cut it down to 3 ml per kg per hour. So that can be a very important marker to say that the end organ perfusion is actually good. But this will need almost in a sick child an hour-to-hour monitoring. And the blood pressure, watch for narrow pulse pressure. Don't just be happy with a normal systolic blood pressure. Monitoring for leak, we look at, or rather in history, we ask for poor oral intake, abdominal pain, and vomiting. That indicates a leak in the stomach and the intestine with mesenteric ischemia. Look for tachypnea and oxygen requirement, which may indicate an underlying developing pleural effusion, very rarely ARDS or pulmonary edema. Look for generalized edema and ascites. That also indicates that there is leak happening into the interstitial tissue. So the common call that usually happens when we have doctors who have just been posted in the ER or the ICU is that they look puffy, so I'm going to cut down fluids. But on the contrary, the puffiness is because of the leak and they may actually need more fluids. So don't get carried away by just that peripheral edema. Look for a rise in the hemoglobin or the hematocrit. That indicates that there is a leak, so for which we will need a baseline hemoglobin. Irrespective, in case we don't have a baseline or a normal hemoglobin of that child, you can just go by what you are measuring on that particular day and then go by how the hemoglobin response or the hematocrit responds to your fluid therapy. A fall or a static hemoglobin may indicate recovery, and in sick children, a fall may actually be an indication of bleed happening in the child. So watch out. In addition to clinical monitoring, monitor the hemoglobin and hematocrit on a 6 to 8 hourly basis in sick children. The platelet count or the immature platelet fraction, both of it, they just indicate if the child is still in the leaky phase or is recovering. So the IPF tends to kind of improve much earlier than the platelet count. So if you have an improving IPF and the platelet count, which is either stuck at the same level or is even falling, you may actually be anticipating or looking towards the recovery phase in the next few hours. Bicarbonate, a bicarbonate of more than 18 may indicate a child is well compensated with respect to shock. Below 15 usually indicates a severe leak and they may or may not be in hypotensive shock. Those between 16 to 18 are those who are probably entering the leaky phase and need a close monitoring. So please remember, not one single value can be taken as a tool to monitor children with dengue. You need to put into perspective all the three parameters, which is clinical monitoring, hemoglobin or hematocrit, and the bicarbonate. So at any given point, all three will be analyzed and then decided upon the further course of management.